Please rise. Just want to let people know that the building inspector is home. Derek Calderwood is in his serious accident. He's home and recuperating, and hopefully be back to work soon. I don't have anyone that has passed away that I know about. I've been away myself, so no one's told me, so we'll just move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag, to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The roll call for the City Council meeting of October 27, 2014.
Councilor Tonto.
Present.
Councilor Vogel.
Present.
Councilor Cameron.
Here.
Councilor Connor.
Present.
Councilor Cronin.
Present.
Councilor Agaman.
Here.
Councilor Junta.
Present.
Councilor Harkness.
Present.
Councilor Hirsler.
Here.
Councilor King.
Here.
Council President O'Brien.
Here. Late file items.
There's one late file item the councilors will see on their desk. It's transfer number 1, which is in the amount of $365,000 coming out of downtown paid parking revolving into in-street restoration project, $325,000, and parking revenue collection system, $40,000.
Move to waive the rules and accept the late.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll go into public comment. Matt Whitty.
President and council members, just like to thank you for this opportunity. My name is Matthew Whitty, and I would like to thank you for this appointment for the reserve position at the Newburyport Police Department.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ryan Cutter.
Council President, member of the council, thank you very much for your time. I'm Ryan Cutter, and I'm here to thank you for the consideration as an appointment to Newburyport Permanent Reserve Police Department. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Feel free to contact me on email or phone. Thank you.
Wayne Emerald.
Good evening, Council President, Council. I just want to introduce myself. I'm the new DPS Deputy Director. My name is Wayne Emerald. Tony will be sending out my contact information, and obviously I'll be available 24/7 if you need anything. And I'm very excited to start on my career in Newburyport, and I look forward to dealing with you.
Did you say you'd be available 24/7?
That was a mistake.
I don't miss things like that. Good, thank you. John Clifford. What agenda item are you speaking on?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm John Clifford. I'm at 149 Merrimack Street. Just wanted to speak on behalf of the Cashman Dog Park. Thank you for considering it. Thank you for your appreciation. I do use it twice a day, almost every single day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That's it for public comment. Mayor's comment.
Thank you, Council President, members of the City Council. Quick update tonight. Wanted to let you know that we had a meeting last week with the Whittier Bridge Working Group with representatives from Newburyport, Salisbury, and Amesbury. We met with Mass DOT and Walshville Court to get an update on where they are with the bridge project. We also have a site visit scheduled for this week, actually on site of the bridge project. And the project is a few months behind schedule, so they are pushing back the anticipated completion date from the fall of 2016 to the spring of 2017, but they anticipate being able to pick up some time by doing a explosion to take the bridge down as opposed to taking down in parts and trying to barge it off the river. So they're still working on permits on that, and I'll keep you posted because I think that will be a great opportunity for us all to stand around the bridge and watch it.
Watch it get blown up.
I'll keep you posted.
Far
on
away.
that. Of course.
You just let it fall now.
If we waited too much longer, that
Exactly.
probably could be an option, Counselor. In terms of the intermodal facility, we had to reschedule our meeting with Mass DOT, but that is happening this week, and they're actually coming to Newburyport. We'll be meeting with New England Development, the Merrimack Valley Regional Transit Authority, to discuss the access to the $5 million that went from the transportation bond bill to the governor's capital improvement plan, and that is, we're trying to get it moved into Mass DOT's capital improvement plan, which would then give us access to begin to move forward. I will let you know as soon as we have results of that information. Another, I think, important event that happened last week was in light of all of the media and information and anxiety about Ebola. I reached out to Anna Jake's Hospital and asked if we could organize a public roundtable to have a conversation with that. We had over 25 members from the hospital, infectious disease control, as well as Cataldo Atlantic Ambulance, members of our public safety team, school nurses, superintendent, our public health members of our public health board, and having a wonderful conversation about where the hospital is in terms of their preparedness. If by any remote chance that a person enters the hospital with a chance of having Ebola, they will be sent to Boston. They're working on procedures, practicing their PPEs, which is their protective equipment, making sure they have enough equipment on board. The ambulance is also working on all the procedures that they need to do to disinfect. So, and then we also came up with a media alert that we're using between the schools, the city, and the hospital to be sure that we're all on the same page in terms of the information that is being disseminated to our community on this particular issue. The stadium project, again, there's been some recent information on the news about some problems with one particular type of a synthetic turf field. So as a result of that, we're pulling a group of stakeholders together with experts to begin to look at all of the research and different options that we have for the stadium project. And then once we have that first initial meeting, we will then have a broader public information session on the turf and what our findings are, and what other schools have been using, and what the results have been. Also invite you Thursday night at 7 o'clock to the Brown School cafeteria, where Winter Street Architects have completed their initial feasibility study of the adaptive reuse of the Brown School, and they will be there to present ideas and options to the public and obtain additional feedback as we move forward in trying to decide how to reuse this important building in our city. And also wanted to let you know that it was a special week last week in the city for Newburyport. We were very honored to receive a very prestigious award called Leading by Example, which under executive order by the governor, he established this and said that state agencies must lead by example in terms of sustainability and green initiatives, and then they extended it to 2 municipalities a year receive it, as well as community colleges or business leaders. We were very fortunate to be one of the 2 communities that were chosen, and again, I give tremendous credit to Molly Ettenborough, our sustainability coordinator, and our energy advisory committee, and members of the public city council who have all worked together to move our city forward in terms of our green initiatives and sustainability. So thanks to all of us. It's an award we can all be very proud of. And finally, I was quite surprised and honored when I was selected to receive Essex National Heritage Pioneers in a Partnership Award. And again, I said when I received the award last week that the key word here is partnerships. And they honored us for the Coast Guard City becoming cultural district and 250th and a whole series of other things that we have worked collectively together on in the city. And as I said, it's the key word is partnerships. And these kinds of initiatives and activities and results don't happen without the partnership of all of you, members of the community, our boards, our commissions, as well as citizens. So thank you all. Again, it was a very special award. And finally, Marty Walsh, Mayor of Boston, hosted the mayor's meeting last week in Boston, and we spent the first part of the meeting talking about the opioid and heroin addiction. Unfortunately, we're now above 100 deaths in Essex County. It's really a concern to all of the mayors that were there at this meeting. There is a proposal being tossed around about a local option of taxing 1% of liquor sales and then turning that money back into the community to deal with substance abuse. Very, very preliminary discussion. For us, it only needs about $250,000. I believe that the work needs to happen from a state level down to support what's happening across the Commonwealth. But there has been an ad hoc group that's been meeting, made up of representatives from across the state to try and address this issue. So there will definitely be more conversations that will be happening about this. And finally, we also have the opportunity to have one-on-one mayors with other gubernatorial candidates, and appreciated the Mass Municipal Association giving us the opportunity to speak with the candidates for governor. So at this point, I would like to ask Jane Liebling to come up. This is a proclamation that is very, very well deserved. And you'll understand if you don't know about Jane's work, you will very shortly. Whereas, as co-founder of the Newburyport Chamber Music Festival, Jane Liebling will step down as its executive director. And whereas, beginning in 2001, Jane single-handedly brought this festival to life, raising all the necessary funds, including grant writing, a hands-on executive director. Jane found housing for visiting artists who traveled from all over the United States and abroad, managed the advertising and public relations, chose the venues for all of the concerts. And whereas the festival's inception was for 2 days in August at St. Paul's Church, hosting 3 musicians. Because of Jane's hard work, it is now recognized as one of the premier summer festivals in this country. Originally holding one main concert in the summer months, the festival has expanded with performances in the spring and fall. Venues have also increased throughout Newburyport, with concerts and rehearsals at the Custom House Maritime Museum, the Public Library, Brown Chapel at Oak Hill Cemetery, the Farewell Clay Carriage House, and City Hall. The Chamber Music Festival holds an annual free concert on N Street and free master classes with resident artists for local piano students. And whereas, under Jane's guidance, each series of concerts always includes world premieres of commissioned works from major American composers. The direction for each piece is that it be connected to Newburyport through its culture, history, or natural surroundings. Therefore, as mayor of the city of Newburyport and speaking for all of its residents, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation and gratitude to Jane Liebling for her 14 years and acknowledge her vision, talent, and unwavering commitment, and wish her the very best of luck in future endeavors. Given under my hand and seal this 27th day of October in the year 2014, Donna D. Holliday, Mayor.
Was mostly accurate. Maybe a slight exaggeration. But I just wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, I've always wanted a proclamation. My son and my husband got proclamations many years ago, and I've held it against them ever since.
And the first thing she said to me, there's going to be some whereas.
Yeah, I want the whereas. My father was an English teacher. I need whereases. The other thing is, I just want to say it was a terrific adventure. It was terrifying, but also a great honor and a great pleasure. I learned a lot. The main thing that I learned was how to be a citizen. And I think I thought I was a good citizen before. I always vote, and I never litter. But apparently, it's more than that. And it is quite simply serving your community. It's a great thing to do. I hope to keep doing it. I clearly cannot go back to just voting and not littering, so I don't know what that will be. But this was a great ride, and thank you very much for being a town that made me want to do this.
Move on to the consent agenda.
The consent agenda consists this evening of the approval of the minutes for the October 14th meeting. There are no transfers, except for the one in the regular agenda. There are no communications. There are 4 appointments. First reading. Michael Traister, 327 Merrimack Street, to be appointed as a police officer. Second, Matthew J. Whitty, 1 Parish Road, Georgetown, to be appointed as a permanent reserve police officer. Tori M. Smith, 10 Milk Street, Unit 1, permanent reserve police officer. And Ryan Cutter, 17 Rawson Ave, permanent reserve police officer. And that's the consent agenda this evening.
Wish of the council?
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. We move on to the regular agenda. The first item up is the transfer.
As read previously, it's a $365,000 transfer from downtown paid parking to 2 items. In-street restoration project, $325,000, and parking revenue collection system, $40,000. There are 2 related and attached memorandums, one from the mayor, one from Andrew Port, Director of Planning, and one from Ethan Manning, Finance Director.
What is the wish of the council?
Motion to refer to Budget and Finance.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go to budget and finance. Appointments?
There is 1 reappointment, second reading, Ann Spraker, 20 Tremont Street, Unit 1, to the Cultural Council until October 1st, 2017.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to orders. Order number 1.
Order number 1 is that the city appropriate $80,200 from the premium paid to the city on the sale of bonds issued for the Birmingham School construction project, which are the subject of Prop 2.5 debt exclusion, to pay cost of the project being financed by such bonds and reduce the amount authorized to be borrowed for such project, but not yet issued by the city by the same amount. Committed, Councilor.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Order number 2.
That the city appropriate $46,800 from the premium paid to the city upon the sale of bonds issued for Knock Molen School construction and renovation, which are the subject of Prop 2.5 debt exclusion, the cost for the project being financed by such bonds, and to reduce the amount authorized to be borrowed for such project, but not yet issued by the same amount. Councilor Thompson.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Order number 3.
City appropriate $262,000 from the premium paid to the city upon the sale of bonds issued for the construction of a new senior and community center, which are the subject of a Prop 2.5 debt exclusion, to pay costs for the project being financed by such bonds and to reduce the amount authorized to be borrowed for such project, but not yet issued by the same amount. Councilor Tonto.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Councilor Herzog?
Mr. President, if I could yield to Ethan Manning, our city auditor, just to provide a layman's term definition of what we're approving here tonight.
Mr. President, councilors, we actually received a very similar premium last time we went out to issue for these 2 projects, now 3 projects, back in January of 2013. Basically, the way the market is right now with our low interest rates, investors demand a higher coupon, but in return they pay us a premium. So the Department of Revenue forces cities to actually accept the premium and in turn reduce the bond authorization. So for example, for this particular order, we needed $6.5 million. We went out to borrow for 6.25. We got 0.25 in premium, so that's all we need to borrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to ordinance.
Ordinance number 1, section 13179, handicap parking, to add to Purchase Street one space in front of the Emma Andrews Library at 77 Purchase Street, submitted Councilor Harkness.
Motion to refer to public safety.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? For the public safety. Committee items. Budget and Finance.
Nothing, Mr. President, today.
Burnett.
Quickly, Mr. President, I spoke to this 2 weeks ago. I also sent an email to council regarding November 12th. Per the city charter, the new city charter, we have a city council meeting with school committee. It's 7 p.m. in the library in the high school, but I wanted to make note that at 6:15, there'll be a light dinner served in the Clipper Cafe for council and school committee.
Wow.
6:15.
Neighborhood and City Services.
Nothing at this time.
License and permits.
Yes, Mr. President. Motion to remove item number 4, Parks Commission letter regarding Cashman Park.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. The License and Permit Committee met last Wednesday to discuss the memo that was submitted by the Parks Commission. The meeting was very well attended. There was standing room only. Councilors Cronin and Connell also joined us. Our new ACO, Rob Steach, who's doing a tremendous job, introduced himself, and he reported on the interactions that he has had within the past 2 months of being on the job. And basically, my takeaway was that nothing notable was reported. We discussed 3 areas of improvement and are recommending the following to the Parks Commission. Increased signage. A couple of recommendations are to have more prominent signage and to also maybe install signs along the walkways, just allowing passerbyers or residents or visitors to know that they're entering and exiting the off-leash hour area. It will also include pertinent information and the hours. Another recommendation is going to be the increased communication and enforcement. Although Rob has done a tremendous job, like I said, for the 2 months he's been here, we would like to see continued and consistent enforcement, especially during the day, during the off-leash hours, if that makes sense, because that seems to be when people try to get away with not abiding by the rules. Also for communication, Rob had recommended, and the License and Permit Committee also agrees with this, he is going to recommend people who have issues or see people breaking the rules to call directly to the non-emergency police department number. He likes that idea because obviously the dispatchers are trained. They can get in touch with them quicker, and they can also, they keep a paper trail, which is important for tracking. The third recommendation we're going to make is the installation of a fence, or in this case, a native vegetation barrier. One of the biggest complaints of the off-leash hours at Cashman Park are the dogs running running towards the river, crossing over the walkway and disrupting passersby. So a native vegetative barrier will help delineate the off-leash area, and also help prevent dogs from running into people. One more recommendation is maybe after 6 months, we would like to meet and review all of these recommendations with the Parks Commission and maybe just discuss the progress and see what's been going on, good, bad, and indifferent. Thank you.
Planning and Development.
Nothing to report.
Public Safety.
Nothing. Done.
You have anything else?
Nothing.
Permits?
Sure.
That's all.
Public utilities?
Nothing tonight.
Rules committee?
We need to vote on the point of order, Mr. President.
Which one?
From the dog
Receive and
letter.
file.
Parks Commission letter number 4.
Okay.
Motion on the floor, receive and file.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? What a surprise. Anything else? Go to the order, I'll tell you that there's an evening with the mayors. Please join us for a panel discussion moderated by Sheriff Frank Cousins with the mayors in the report, spanning the years 1968 to the present. Learn about our city's rich history and the part each mayor had in shaping it. This special event is being sponsored by the Historical Society of Old Newbury. It's at November 6th at 6:30. And there's a reception at 6 o'clock, $3, and it's at City Hall. Unfortunately, that's the same night as the Wall of Fame dinner, so I will not be attending. Anything else from the good of the order? Councilor Cameron?
Thank you, Mr. President. About 7 months ago, we all started a long journey together. It's been a long period of ups and downs and friendships strengthened and sometimes frayed. And I know when we make our choice and the results come in the next couple of days, afterwards we'll all be on the same page together. So whether you're rooting for the Kansas City Royals or the San Francisco Giants, we can all afterwards start rooting for the Red Sox again. So go Royals.
How can you say go Royals when the Red Sox, Jake Peavey's going to win it all tomorrow night? Councilor Herzog.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the council are aware that in recent years I've sponsored many resolutions relative to technology. Just wanted to share that tomorrow night I'm hosting a regional forum on broadband technologies. I've alerted all of the council here. I've alerted pretty much every who's who of municipal and business leaders across the region. The objective, Mr. President, is to explore the benefits of expanding broadband access to compete with both Comcast and Verizon. A number of individuals will be participating in this panel, including Don Skane, who's the IT director for the Newburyport School District, Lenny Mirror, state representative. He also runs a utility contracting company, a member of the Gloucester Cable Advisory Committee, and others. The keynote speaker will be the CEO of Open Cape Corporation, which is the Cape Cod Consortium of broadband communities. Anyway, it's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. in the high school library. Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else? Take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye. Opposed?
That's fast. That was, when did you think of that? In the middle of the night? That's like a parallel universe thing.
Driving home, 495 when I thinking.
Let me guess, hot dogs?
A copy of everybody? I'll put them in the box. My IT graduate? You bet. He's a double pelican.